Welcome back, guys, to Factorio Recursion. This episode number 16. Today, we're going to be making modules, not speed modules or productivity modules, but it's going to include that. We're going to be making belt modules with the idea of picking one item and figuring out the best way to compress a blue belt with it in a compact manner. We're going to put it in one of these factory buildings, and we're going to be able to pick those up and plug them in or duplicate them when we need more, kind of like we did with the red guy here. But we're going to use that as our strategy to start moving everything inside our factory base. I told you guys a couple episodes ago I was making a big spreadsheet so that I could figure out all the ingredients needed to shoot a rocket and then to make 1,000 science of the other packs so we can start the infinite research, which is now the true end game of Factorio. And doing that is actually, obviously, since we're doing more than just shooting a rocket, that is way more ingredients than shooting a rocket. It's about 4 times as much. The old benchmark that everybody tried to shoot for, and some people even exceeded, was to launch a rocket once a minute. We're going to try, I think at first we'll just try for 1 rocket and the 1,000 science every 4 minutes. But because we're using these modules with the 1 belt per module kind of idea, hopefully with this Factorissimo idea, we'll be able to scale that up. If we can even get that far. Let's just see what we can do. So I made that the spreadsheet, and it tries to calculate all the different productivity bonuses and how they cascade down through the different ingredients. And I think my results are a bit inaccurate. I still have to go back and double check and triple check. But I looked at some other people's spreadsheets that they made that kind of do the same thing. And my results are kind of close. They're within 10% of what other people have come up with. So I think that's enough to start. Because it's going to be a while anyway before we get to the launching rockets. And with our modular design, hopefully I can fiddle with it, you know? We can pick one up, put another one down, that kind of thing. But the long story short is that the amount of iron plates, not iron ore, but iron plates, that, according to my figures, that we're going to need is 120,000. So we also need to figure out, if we're making modules based on belts, how many belts is that? And we're going to be doing some math today. I know this is kind of the aspect that overwhelms a lot of people, and their eyes start to glaze over, and they say, okay, Factorio, that's too much. So we'll try to be as straightforward as possible. One of these blue belts transports 40 items per second. So times 60, if we want to find out per minute, that's 60 times 40, 2,400. And if we want to do, let's see, 4 minutes worth, once every 4 minutes, that's 4,800, 9,600 items per minute. So we take our 120-ish, whatever it is, 1,000 iron plates per minute, and we divide it by 9,600, and we get about 12.5 blue belts. So for our initial idea, we're going to need 12 modules, smelting iron into 12.5, or I guess a little bit more than 12, but you know what I'm saying, right? We're going to need at least 12.5 belts of iron plates, plus probably a little bit extra because we'll be making some quality of life things as well as we construct new things. So there's just basic math, right? That's our basic goal we're shooting for. And the next thing to figure out is, okay, so we're smelting, and we need to figure out exactly how many smelters we need and how we're going to be using the beacons. So let's just go ahead and lay out a design. More beacons is not always better, but just for the purpose of illustration, I guess we'll start here, and let's... How is that not plugged in? Oh, you guys are right on the edge. There we go. Okay, so the way we figure this out, this is more math. I'm going to use a calculator off screen because it's too complicated to do in my head. Smelting 1 iron plate takes 3.5 seconds. And this thing has a crafting speed of 2, you can see on the right there. So it will craft an iron plate with out of iron ore once every 1.75 seconds. But we're going to be using modules, so that's going to change things. Now the speed is down to 1.4. Okay, and then after putting speed modules in, we have a crafting speed of 13.4. and a productivity bonus of 1.2. So this is how this works, and it's actually fairly simple once you understand the basics. We start with putting 3.5 into my calculator. It's how long it takes to make a iron ingot by default. Then we divide that by the crafting speed, 13.4. 13.4. That gives us 0.2611 numbers. Then we've got to divide that by 1.2 to get to the productivity bonus. Divided by 1.2. That gives us a figure of 0.217 and more numbers. 0.217, so about 5 items, 5 iron ingots every second this guy's making. So then we just need to multiply by 40, because that's how many the blue belts will hold. So multiply that by 40. And we get 8.7. So with this design, we would need to fully compress a belt. We need 8.7 of these little guys, and that would be 1 compressed blue belt module for smelting of the iron. So I have been doing some work on some layouts. And we're going to head inside this guy and take a look at them. So the first one I did is the one I just showed you. And that's this one. And this guy, this building compresses 2. So it's a module of 2 blue belts. And we could stamp this guy down. If we need 12.5 iron plate belts, we would need 6 of these guys. Or I guess 7. We would need 7 of them. And I guess we could fit 7 inside this building. Yeah, that could work. But it's not the most compact thing. It does have some extra space. And the main problem with it is it's just inefficient. It uses a ton of power and also a ton of space. We can make something better. So this guy is much smaller. He also compresses 1 belt. He's not as fast, so he uses more furnaces. But the configuration is just more space effective. So he fits in here. But we still have a whole bunch of dead space not being used. So I want to find something that works well with the factory size. And normally I like to use my own designs, but I happen to come across... Oh, it's not in here. I was gonna... Yeah, we gotta place it down. I came across this design on the forums, and this is a really nice design. It's more compact than mine. I didn't think about the idea of zigzagging the furnaces like this. And it has a very optimized flow of the inserters. So these guys will output the iron plates to the bottom of the belt. These guys will output to the top of the belt. And then halfway down the belt, it swaps. So these got these extra guys on the bottom. So this belt, the inserters on the second half don't get slowed down by the belt being partially full. And then at the end, they combine. And then we take the items out. And so this is the one we're going to use for our iron plates and our copper plates. And look at how much more compact this is. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We can do 5 belts inside this one blue building. Isn't that crazy? That's way better than my design. I don't really like coming up with my own stuff, but every once in a while, you just have to use something you see because it's good. Am I crazy there? 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 blue belts of compressed plates. That is really good. But I do want to sort of figure out if we can rotate this blueprint. Will it work the same? Because of the way that the items are getting put on the belt. Because, well, the way that the factory is going to work, and with using the logistics robots, let's run down here for a second. Oh, I can't go through there. Let's go around this side. Okay, so the iron plates are going to come in on the left, and they need to smelt from the left to the right, and then come out in the middle here, and head into another factory where everything's going to be getting made. Copper plates are going to be coming from the right to the left, and then they're going to come out the left side, and everything's going to head into a central factory, kind of like this. But with the steel being made in here, not on the left. So we need to make sure that that design is reversible. So I just set up a few of these little guys here so we can test. This is the basic idea for it. So if we come back here just to refresh your memory visually. These guys are doing this kind of thing. I mean, we also have one going to the left, so we should probably add that, huh? Okay, let's do that. Let's see, something like that, and a chest. Just to make sure. They are in equal numbers, I'm pretty sure. Let's go check that again. So this guy inputs to the right, this guy up, this guy to the left. Up, left, up, left, up, left, up, left. Okay, so they all input up and to the left except for the first one. So as long as his logic follows the same logic as this one, then we can rotate it in any direction. So I guess that's the first thing we'll check. Okay, so we'll just put a few items there. So that goes to the bottom. And there. Okay, that also goes to the bottom. But then if we put them there, they go to the top. So that belt's going to get filled up properly. Do the same thing. They both go to the top once we flipped it around. So the inserters are, there are some like really weird, maybe they've streamlined this with all the various patches. That we're on like 0.15, 0.27 or something by now. Or it's not really that high, but it's pretty close. It's like 0.22 or 0.21, 0.20. Okay, good. And sometimes the inserters, when you rotate them, they have some funny behavior. But right now, it's seeming like it's fairly consistent. Yeah, okay, so it looks like we can rotate those guys. Pick up this. Pick up this. Okay, so this guy is now going to be our first iron plate blue belt module, which will compress 5 belts from right to left. Then we'll come over here. And we will yoinks all that up. This guy is going to be our copper one. And he's going to compress from the right to the left. And then we'll figure out steel later, but this is just sort of a way to get started. Okay, so is that rotated? It is rotato potato. The input is right there. I guess we could line up the input. Doesn't matter. One of them's going to have to be rotated. I guess we'll just start at the very top. Yeah, okay, we'll just start at the very top like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. All right, so I think we are ready to swap our old setup for our new setup. And since we're doing this module thing here, let's just go. Oops, that's my shotgun. I'm trying to fat fingering it. Let's pick up these guys. And then we're going to need a fresh, empty one of these. This is going to be our iron smelting area. And actually, we're going to have to move this over eventually. But that's the beautiful thing about this stuff. We're going to need to put the roboports in here eventually, right? But we can just pick it back up and move it again when we need to. That's what's cool about Factorissimo. Okay, so he's going to be like basically right where the old one was, but we got a fresh, empty one. I'm going to pick up this. Let's put down some chests. I have a feeling my inventory is going to fill up with like iron and steel and that kind of stuff. What did I just put in there as it shifts? I want those. Put that in there. Okay, so he's going to be in there. This is our set up iron smelting module, the first one, which will eventually fill up 5 belts. We're going to need a lot more iron and copper expansions to be able to do anything with that. But one thing at a time. Okay, which one was it? You? No. You? Yes. Okay. So there's that guy. We'll also have to increase the power. And I think the power will increase once they're actually doing anything, so I'll just have to come back and take a look at it. So Shift R, up to 50, 100. Okay, that's probably good. And then this one is at... It says 38 right now. Oh, it's at 100 already, okay. But as I add more modules inside here, then we'll have to think about that. This whole guy will support 16 belts of processed iron because we've got 16 in. Actually, we can probably do more than that because some of our iron is going to be turned into steel. Like if we need a blue belt worth of steel, that's going to take up 5 of our belts of iron. So that means we'll have less outputs, which gives us more room for inputs. So we could have like 18 inputs and 14 outputs. One thing at a time, though. Okay, so let's just say that this guy is also going to be iron. Don't have any more iron plates. There. Okay, iron. Then we need a fresh, empty one here. These things are really expensive, by the way, and I'm blowing through all of my... There's an empty one. All of my stone. We need to set up a stone outpost soon. Okay, so you're going to go inside here. Which one was it? Let's pick the Factorissimo. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's you. We're going to have a lot of just like empty space and belts for the time being. But we need to reroute these so that they come in like that. Like that. And we can, of course, move all this stuff around over and over to our heart's content. 3, but I think we did end up with enough space here to do it this way. Okay, let's get my deconstruction planner and pick up some of this stuff. Okay. So then you go around here like that. There's our first 4. Although I guess maybe we should do them coming in through the top. We can always reconfigure it. Let's just get it working. It's easy to reconfigure those belts. No big deal, right? So those 4 are all the way like this. Okay, so let's move him so he's at the top of there. That was you. Something like that. One further down. Okay, okay, so I want that to be the top. I shot it with my shotgun again. I need to take this. So what? Take that out of my inventory. Yeah, I don't have any rockets. Okay, good. Good thing I don't have any nukes. I had to get those out of my inventory so I didn't accidentally blow something up. There. Okay, now it is a straight shot. Good. So there's one input. I guess we'll just make the most of our space. There's number 3. Okay, so those guys should be smelting, right? And number 5, which we won't set up yet because our base is not set up to be modular like that. And then the outputs will be right there. Oh, it's magical. And we'll have to bring them back out the left side. Okay, very good. Auto save, rearing its ugly head once again. All right, that's starting to look a bit organized. So here is our iron smelting coming in from the left and out the right. That can be scaled up quite a bit. Copper smelting in from the right, out the left. They will both go into here. And for the time being, because I haven't made a... Let's see, yeah, it's this one. No, is it this one? Let's just put them down in here. No, that's the copper. That's the iron. This one. Yeah, okay, there's a steel. I haven't made a modern steel module with the belts and that kind of stuff, or the beacons, rather. So we're going to have this guy come in, the ore for him come in from the top, just for now, until we make that. So that needs to... Actually, I can just reconnect it the way it was. The way that the old one was. And instead of it smelting iron, it's now smelting steel. Whammo blammo. This one, that one, and that one. Did I line that up center? Looks like I did. And those still need to come in the top. Let's just look so I remember which ones. They are the inside of each group of 4. Okay. So we'll need to also bring in, obviously, like stone and coal and all the oil and stuff. But we'll probably... there's still a lot of planning, and we can also move things around. That's the whole idea. But I'm thinking we'll probably try to make the stuff we don't need with oil inside this one. So like our electronic circuits and that kind of stuff, and gear wheels and all that kind of stuff will be in here. And then maybe the oil processing will be in one of these guys. We will need room for the roboports, so this is going to have to change a bit. So they might be closer together, and this guy will be closer to the center. But the whole system is super duper flexible. That's the fun part about it. Let's see. So the reason I'm routing them through this extra one is so that when I decide to move stuff in there, it's already kind of... It's on its way to being organized in that manner. Then we need to connect that to that. So that means the bottom 4 here. Oh, wait, we also need steel, which is going to come out of the left. So confusing. Okay, here we go. And then get my little belt placer module. I'm almost out of belts. So the copper is going to come down through there. And then the iron on the left, and then the steel needs to go out these two. So my steel is this one. Oh, I'm out of belts. Need to go get more. Well, our exterior bus is looking a bit empty, but I've got all the belts laid out. It's ready to connect them up. We're going to have a lot of this kind of stuff for at least a little while. So the iron comes in here, out the right. Copper in the right, out the left. They all go in here in happy harmony. Let's connect this stuff up. Yoinks. And I think what we'll probably do next time, we'll just start making these modules in order of complexity. So the obvious next one to make would be the electronic circuit one, and then after that, the advanced circuit one requires plastic, so we'd have to think about oil processing, but definitely electronic circuits would go next. We could put it right about here. Actually, we could put it here. Yeah, we could put it in here and have the circuits come out there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now it's going in and it's going back out. Oh, this is going to get complicated. And we still need to clear up the space. I do have enough space. The ore is gone. We can lay out the other train stops. And we're going to need... Whoa, we're going to need a lot of ore coming in for all this stuff. This guy's got 2.3 million left. This guy's got 14 million left. We've got all these up here. I think this is going to be our next ore expansion. We've got about 65, 70... million copper ore, and then about 46 million iron ore. Depending on how far we want to stretch the rails, we could have like a massive ore depot there, and there's just ore pockets all over the place. Bring them in by train, and then start to move all this stuff interior. We also need to make a quality of life. We need to move all this stuff into one of these guys. So let's see, where can I put this down? Just to remind myself, this guy is going to be... Oh! Right. Okay, let's... while I'm thinking about it, let's recover some materials. And we can reuse these when we need to make new smelting setups. Lovely. And then once we get the train stops done, we'll have to reposition those inner recursion factorios, or factorissimos, factory buildings, to make room for the roboports and to let the robots unload the plates onto belts and then put those into a factory building, send those into the smelting things, which will go out to the yada, 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 yada. Okay, so they're almost done. Hurry up, guys. Let's see. Maybe it's about time I made some more Roboport Mark IIs because each one supports 25. When I first made these, they were really expensive. They were hard to make, but I'm quite a bit richer now. Let's take a look at what they require. We need 5 personal roboports and 100 processing units, which is gonna... Oh, dude, I can totally... Yeah, okay, I need to make some more. I can definitely make that now. Pick those up. We also need to strip out these other ones. Oh, speaking of which, these other ones I have on me are not empty. I've got some other ones we need to strip out. They're not just empty of, like, stuff. Here, let's find them. It's not that one. Not that one. Yeah, this one. Okay, there's the iron guy. So he still has a little bit of stuff left, so we need to kind of splice him into there. Or maybe there's little enough here, I can just pick it up by hand. But we'll continue working on this next time. And next episode, I had an idea... I'll do this later. I had an idea, and it is possibly the coolest idea I've ever had in Factorio. Probably the coolest idea I've ever had in Factorio. And I'll give you a tiny hint that won't give you any real information, which is the perfect kind of hint, just to entice you. It involves, I set up a little automated thingy. It involves this guy. Red wire. Ooh, what could it be? It's going to be an extension of something we've already made, but it's going to make something awesome we made 1,000 times more awesomer. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. Leave your comments below. For all the mistakes I made in the math, list them. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.